Welcome to Reread. Today I'm going to go through 3 short stories or comic book stories here that all happen, I'm going to say, before Rebel Dawn again. The first one I want to talk about is called, well, it's from the Star Wars Weekly, 94 through 97, subtitled Way of the Wookie. If you can't find Star Wars Weekly, this is in the Wild Space Omnibus by Dark Horse, which I'm sure is extremely hard to find. But I remember when the Omnibus came out, there was no way I was going to track down all the Star Wars Weekly, so I was happy to get that Wild Space Omnibus. Basically, Chewie and Han, this is before they meet Obi-Wan and Luke, that's what it says in the comic strip. Chewie sees a Wookiee who's being, he's shackled and being sent to the spice mines of Kessel by the Empire. But his name, he recognized the Wookiee as an old rival of his called Haronk. And they had a battle on Kashyyyk, but when the Imperials invaded, it broke up the battle. They never finished their feud. And so you don't know why was Chewie attacking Haronk because, of the feud, or did he want to free him from slavery? Obviously free him from slavery. But Han has to stun him and tell the stormtroopers like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, he just hates anyone who's a traitor to the Empire. Chewbacca's so loyal to the Empire. And the stormtroopers decide to buy it. At first they say, well, we're going to make him a slave too. It's like, oh, no. These two Wookiees hate each other. They'll probably kill each other. And then you'll be a slave down. They said, oh, well. And then they said, the one stormtrooper looks at the other one and goes, that excuse works for me. And they just leave him. But later on, Chewie and Han go to save Haronk. And it's now Haronk is in Chewbacca's debt, and he's not that happy about it, but they decide to finally bury their feud, which is what Chewbacca wants. Chewbacca wants peace between their two families or tribes or whatnot. And Han makes a joke or makes a statement to say, I guess I'll never understand the way of the Wookiee. I don't know. It's one of those old Marvel, back in the Marvel comic books days. Again, it's not bad. It's not bad. The artwork's kind of keen at points too. It's pretty good artwork there. But overall, I'd place this definitely before Rebel Dawn, one of the misadventures of Han and Chewie that they would have. The next one would be The Art of a Bad Deal. This is from Free Comic Book Day, Dark Horse Comic Books in 2012. Very short story where Han is like, hey, we're meeting this guy. He always can trick you into making a bad deal. And the alien meets Han and goes, oh, you're late. That's going to be 75% of the cost now. That's all I'm going to pay you. He's like, what? He went, okay, I'll make it 70. He was like, you got to be crazy. He went, 60%? And that's my final offer. He went, fine, 60. So he goes, wait, what? You fooled me. And so he gets a bad deal. But then he tells Chewie, he's like, oh, well, he could have talked me into 40%, so it's a win-win for me. But we find out that the alien also wants the Millennium Falcon, so he put snuck some men aboard the Falcon. They all sneak up after the Falcon launches out into space and try to hijack the Millennium Falcon. And of course, Chewbacca comes to save the day and beat off all the hoodlums, the mercenaries who are on the ship. And then is still mad at Han for losing such a big cut of that deal. Like I said, it's a free comic book day. It's a short story. It can happen anytime at this point, but I'm just going to put, just for, to make it easy and simple, I'm just going to put it right before Rebel Dawn with all these others. And another one, and this one's one I put last out of all these misadventures prior to Han joining the rebellion in A New Hope, would be this Crumb for Hire. This was in a Decade of Dark Horse comic book. It's also in the Omnibus Wild Space 2, which I'm so happy to find because A Decade of Dark Horse, I have 4 long boxes in my closet, and I know I have it. It's somewhere in there, but I was not going to look it up. I was like, I know it's in the Omnibus 2, so I just pulled my Wild Space Omnibus 2 out, and I was like, good, I'll read it from here. So whichever way is easiest to get or cheapest to get. I don't know if you can find a single issue of this, probably. I don't know. It's the internet, right? But it's a very short story where Han, and this is why I placed this last before Rebel Dawn, Han tells Jabba that he's about to go to the corporate sector. So nice doing business with you, Jabba. I'm out. So this is right before the Brian Daley series. In fact, maybe I'd put it behind Brian Daley's first book. I'll do that. I'll put it behind Brian Daley's first book. And then Jabba gets to meet Salacious Crumb for the first time. And Salacious Crumb is, of course, the monkey lizard that's kind of hanging out in Jabba's palace. He's not seen anywhere prior to A New Hope. So, in fact, the few times where Han does meet with Jabba, does Crumb have to be around for those scenes? No, he doesn't. But I'd put him about here because Han does mention he's about to go to the corporate sector. Overall, it's fine. It's, when Crumb met Jabba, at first Jabba's outraged that, there's a little monkey lizard on his ship. But when the monkey lizard makes Bib Fortuna and his other guard look like fools, Jabba starts laughing. You're funny. As long as you make me laugh, I'll keep you living, or whatnot. So they decide to make a deal together. He's basically Jabba's court gesture, and it's fine. It's the only, I wouldn't say the only Salacious Crumb story out there, but I mean, does he need an origin story? Really? Someone thought so. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.